we both do not have the experience that I have. He hasn't got it. He hasn't earned it. He doesn't have experience against, you know, the type of fighter that I am on a stage like we are going to be fighting.
I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left. You've got nothing. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Like Chris, I don't have to like him, but no one's out to hurt anybody here, you know. And it's a shame that he lives in that world of paranoia where he genuinely believes that anybody's out to get him, because nobody really is. And it's for his tongue now. I couldn't care.
Chris Eubank Jr. just dropped a verbal bombshell on Conor Benn ahead of their long-awaited rematch. Eubank didn't mince his words. He went straight for the jugular, branding Benn a fighter who only shows up when the deck is stacked in his favor. He accused him of hiding behind padded wins and avoiding true challenges, calling him a man built more on hype than heart. It was raw, ruthless, and absolutely deliberate. Eubank's message couldn't be clearer. When that bell rings, Benn won't be able to hide behind excuses or reputation, only real pressure and real consequences.
Howard, he waited until I was cutting weight, dehydrated, and malnourished to come and step to me. And he showed his true colors. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried about Conor Benn. I'm not thinking about...
Conor Benn's words tell a different story than his face. He's trying hard to project fearlessness, talking about fighting anywhere, under any circumstances, but it comes off strained, almost forced. The constant mentions of weight, venues, and conditions don't sound like confidence. They sound like excuses. Eubank has already taken mental control of this rivalry, and Benn's shaky tone only confirms it. This isn't the talk of a man ready for war. It's the sound of someone trying to convince himself he still belongs in it.
Listen, ultimately, I'm a 147 fighter. So I don't really want to go up to 160. It ain't really... I'll fight him on road. Do you know what I mean? I'll fight him, he come down the gym. I'll give me good...
Johnny Nelson steps in to set the record straight. Chris Eubank Jr. isn't avoiding anyone. He's pursuing challenges, not dodging them. While Conor Benn gets caught up in excuses and uncertainty, Eubank is taking full command of his story. The difference is clear: hunger, focus, and discipline. That's the mindset that defines champions and exposes pretenders.
He's no longer the challenger. He's the A-side. He's the one that can predict, and he's not the opponent. So he's going to make the most of the opportunity that he's in. But I don't believe that he doesn't want to fight.
He's not ducking, is he?
Nah, he don't do.
Hearn then weighed in with his own brutally honest take. His words cut deep, a direct shot at Benn's lack of discipline and composure. Hearn knows Benn's biggest weakness isn't physical, it's emotional. When the pressure rises, Benn loses control, and that's exactly where Eubank will attack. At this stage, it's not just about skill or power. It's about who can stay calm when the lights burn brightest, and Eubank thrives in that chaos.
Honestly, this guy has zero respect for anything. And I hope people can see through it. Some will, some won't. But if you can't see them, that's a lot of what happened up there was just wrong. So listen, we go to work and we're in to win the fight. It's going to be different.
Carl Frampton keeps it real. He sees no decline in Chris Eubank Jr., and that says everything. If anything, Eubank looks sharper, hungrier, and more dangerous than ever before. For Conor Benn, that's a nightmare waiting to unfold. Because if Eubank steps into the ring with the same composure, precision, and fire he showed last time, Benn might not make it to the final bell.
Any signs of decline in Usyk yet? We might... Fuck's sake, boys. I'm gonna do an interview with Coogan here. But that, yeah, it could happen.
Frampton didn't stop there. His next words hit even harder. Carl Frampton spoke the truth without sugarcoating it. Eubank Jr. has options everywhere, while Conor Benn looks trapped between weight classes and excuses. Moving up to 160 only exposed Benn's physical and tactical limits, and Frampton knows it. Eubank, meanwhile, has proven he belongs among the elite. That last performance reminded everyone that he's still a force, still a threat, and nowhere near finished.
No, but it gives you the opportunity, because in your head, you might just want to tell your wife you love your kids, you love her.
Oh, I love
them.
I love my kids.
Exactly. So yeah. It's just your opportunity to say what you want. Right. That's all it is.
Chrissy. Right.
Or you could use it to slag someone off. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll think about it the next time. I'll have one ready.
Definitely have one ready, because it'll probably be post-fight. So when I say, if you've got anything else to say, say something.
Eddie Hearn finally admits it. Conor Benn's fighting with emotion. Not IQ. That wild, brawling style might excite the crowd, but it won't save him against someone as composed and calculated as Chris Eubank Jr. Hearn knows it. Eubank's timing, his jab, that signature uppercut, they're built to punish reckless rushes. Benn's got heart, no doubt, but heart alone doesn't win chess matches in the ring. Eubank isn't just stronger, he's smarter. And when a fighter mixes power with patience, domination becomes inevitable. This isn't the street, it's the sweet science. And Benn's chaos could once again become his undoing.
You have to follow the weight classes. You have to follow directions and orders. And, that's why we have weight classes. For 1 pound makes a huge difference. I mean, this guy was almost fainting.
Smith puts it perfectly. This rematch could redefine Chris Eubank Jr.'s entire legacy. A dominant win won't just silence the critics. It could launch him straight into a world title run. What's changed this time is everything. Eubank's discipline, his mental reset, his refusal to take Conor Benn lightly. While Benn's still clinging to old excuses about weight and circumstance, Eubank has evolved, sharpened, matured, and learned. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about legacy. And if Eubank delivers the kind of performance he's been promising, 2026 could mark the beginning of his true redemption, the moment his career story finally comes full circle.
I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win and there's a new lease of life maybe under Beaumat, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first. And Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn.
Tony Bellew might believe time favors Conor Benn, but he's missing the bigger picture. Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't crumble under pressure. He thrives in it. He's been through wars, setbacks, and criticism, yet every time he returns, he's sharper, smarter, and more dangerous. Benn's youth might look like an advantage on paper, but youth without ring IQ means nothing. Eubank's conditioning, experience, and composure under fire give him the edge every time. Time off hasn't slowed him, it's refined him. He's training smarter, eating cleaner, and studying every Benn weakness like a blueprint for destruction. That's not decline, that's evolution. And when a fighter evolves with purpose, no amount of youth or hype can save the man standing across the ring.
He ain't coming back down to 160, so it's got a very short lifespan, this rematch. It's got to be done, the sooner the better. If I'm being brutally honest, the sooner the rematch happens, in my opinion, it favours Conor Benn, because he's the younger fighter who's took less damage and has had a much lesser career with much less experience. For someone like Chris Eubank Jr., it's going to take a while to turn around, and it's going to take a while to recover, because that was a hard fight for him. He was shook a number of times, he felt the shots.
And Tony Jeffries couldn't be more right. This fight has it all: pride, pressure, and danger. For Chris Eubank Jr., it's about rewriting history. For Conor Benn, it's about survival. One wrong move and reputations could crumble in an instant. But between the two, it's Eubank who looks like the man in control. Calm eyes, measured words, and confidence forged through real experience. Benn, meanwhile, carries the burden of public doubt, controversy, and his own self-inflicted chaos. Jeffries knows what's coming. This isn't hype, it's a career-defining war. Because when emotion collides with precision, only one man walks out vindicated.
Would sell out any stadium in the UK. I was going to say in the world there, but probably not in America, because that many people wouldn't fly over. It would sell out a lot. But the fight location still hasn't been announced yet, but I do know that it's going to be on September 20th.
Dave Allen hits on a truth most fans overlook. That rehydration clause, it changes everything. Eubank Jr. is cutting real weight, pushing limits that Conor Benn has never even faced. It's risky, sure, but it's also proof of Eubank's iron will. He's sacrificing comfort to make a statement. While Benn keeps crying about unfair terms, Eubank took every obstacle head on, no excuses. That's the mentality of a true fighter. Allen's right, it's not ideal, but champions adapt, not complain. Eubank's body might feel the strain, but his mindset is bulletproof. And if Benn thinks a few pounds will save him, he's walking straight into the lion's den, unarmed.
But they're just not the same size. Rehydration clauses should not be a thing in boxing. I know IBF have a £10 morning after ruling, but It's just not safe. The term rehydration clause just don't sound safe. Rehydration clause, just don't agree with it. Eubank's been up at super middleweight, and now they're going to drag him down to near light middleweight. I don't like it.
Tony Bellew hits the nail on the head. This isn't just another fight. This is bad blood boiling under the bright lights. You can feel the tension every time their names collide. The Eubank-Benn rivalry runs deep, generational, raw, and personal. But here's the difference. While Benn's been lost in controversy and noise, Eubank's turned his focus into steel. He's fighting not just for pride, but for legacy, carrying the weight of his family name with calm authority. Benn, on the other hand, is fighting to rebuild what's been shattered. And that's where the danger lies. Desperation versus discipline. Tony knows it. Fights like this aren't just about fists. They're about composure. Benn's emotions could make him reckless, while Eubank thrives in the storm. Every stare down, every word, every jab, it's all part of Eubank's psychological warfare. Bellew can see it coming. One wrong move and Benn won't just lose a fight, he'll lose what's left of his credibility.
And parcel, when you get involved in these kind of things, you have to just accept it. And everyone's bought into the fight. We all know the drama, the rivalry's real.
Bullock doesn't mince his words. And why would he? He's seen real champions up close, the kind who win fights before the bell even rings. His verdict? Conor Benn's already lost, mentally. Eubank isn't just controlling the ring. He's owning the psychological battlefield. From the press conferences to the stare-downs, from the calm interviews to the cold smirks, Eubank's been playing chess while Benn's still swinging wildly in checkers. You can feel it. Eubank's camp smells blood. Benn's overthinking, overreacting, and overcompensating. That first fight didn't just humble him, it exposed him. And this rematch? It might break him. Bullock's faith in Eubank isn't hype, it's hard-earned wisdom. He's worked with warriors who've seen every kind of storm, and he knows the look of a man who's unshakable. Eubank's not flustered by Benn's talk or tantrums. He's studying them. Every insult, every fake burst of bravado, and it's all data. Eubank turns chaos into fuel. That's the difference. Benn's fighting with emotion. Eubank's fighting with precision. And in the end, when heart collides with composure, composure always wins.
For me to ask you, but I'm going to ask it anyway, Bomac. Is there any way you can see Conor Benn beats your guy?
No, I can't, for the simple fact that it's hard to beat the guy that already done beat you. I mean, I can see that Chris is beating him at everything. The press conference, the stare downs, the fight. To me, he got his number, you know? And I think he's going to be in a better position coming into this next fight because Chris knows what to expect.
Duke McKenzie speaks with the calm authority of a man who's seen it all. He knows the heartbeat of boxing, the rhythm behind the gloves, and he's spot on. Eubank versus Benn isn't just another fight. It's theater, it's legacy, it's bloodline warfare. Their first clash had everything: bad blood, tension, family history, and raw emotion. It wasn't just punches being traded, it was pride, redemption, and the weight of generations. That's why fans can't look away. But now, the sequel carries even more danger. Benn's wavering over weight and excuses, while Eubank looks leaner, sharper, and mentally unbreakable. McKenzie understands what's really at stake. If Eubank delivers the kind of poised, punishing performance he did before, calm under fire, cold in execution, he won't just win. He'll solidify his place among British boxing's biggest box office stars, and Duke's final point cuts deep. People don't just tune in for the punches. They tune in for the story. Right now, Chris Eubank Jr. is writing it, word by word, jab by jab. Conor Benn? He's just reacting to it.
Like I say, the fight wasn't a letdown because it was a good fight. But as an event, you won't get a better event than that. And they'll have to go some, actually, to surpass that or even equal that. Let's just hope they get the same turnout in terms of the numbers. People going through the live gate and watching that fight because it was a great event. There's no if, buts, or maybe. You won't get world title fights that actually are a better event.
Tony Bellew's words light a fire and a debate. They reveal just how polarizing Chris Eubank Jr. truly is. For years, critics have questioned his boxing IQ, calling him raw, reckless, unconventional. Yet time and again, Eubank answers the only way that matters, with results. Bellew doesn't see a textbook technician. But what Eubank lacks in traditional finesse, he replaces with iron will, grit, and adaptability. Qualities Conor Benn simply can't match. He might not glide like a purist, but his athleticism, toughness, and relentless pressure make him a nightmare for anyone across the ring. What Bellew calls a flaw, the fans call a style, one that breaks opponents mentally before the final bell. And against Benn, that same unfiltered aggression could be the difference between redemption and regret. Bellew's criticism doesn't weaken Eubank's story, it fuels it. Because Eubank Jr. isn't chasing perfection, he's chasing victory. And every time the world doubts him, he digs deeper, hits harder, and fights meaner. If Benn truly believes this version of Eubank can't box, he's in for a brutal reality check when those combinations start finding their mark.
Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer, technically. Yeah. And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr. is having. He's got this thing in his mind, he's a masterful boxer. No, you're not. No. I'm sorry, no, you're not.
This rematch isn't just about pride, it's about redemption, legacy, and proving who's truly built for the spotlight. Chris Eubank Jr. enters as the man with the mental edge, battle-tested, ice-cold, and determined to finish what he started. Across from him stands Conor Benn, haunted by ghosts of the past, scandal, scrutiny, and self-doubt. For Eubank, victory means reclaiming his story and punching his ticket toward a world title run. For Benn, it's the fight that could silence the critics, erase the stains and rewrite his reputation overnight. This isn't just another grudge match, it's personal, brutal, and utterly unpredictable. So, who are you backing? The composed assassin, Chris Eubank Jr., or the desperate wildcard, Conor Benn?